Your daily dose of sports and fun. This is the Morning Drive Podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
I'm Mike Hebert, owner of Cantex Roofing and Construction. Every day is game day, and we'll get it right when it comes to your roofing, construction, windows, and mirrors. Call Cantex Roofing and Construction today. Together, we are one serving you.
Speaking of Red Raider baseball, the preseason poll came out yesterday. You may have seen it. Texas Tech in the 5 slot. They'll open up play 3 weeks from today on Valentine's Day. It'll be a 3 o'clock first pitch from Chapel Hill, North Carolina. Have you ever been to Chapel Hill?
I have not.
Will you make an effort to go to the Dean Dome?
Probably.
Okay. I didn't know if the Dean Dome or the football. I know you like to kind of traipse around, kind of look at things. If you have an opportunity, you'll be there for several days, so you'll have a little bit of time. It's a Friday afternoon game, a Saturday afternoon game, and a Sunday afternoon game. It keeps getting earlier. 3 o'clock on Friday, 1 o'clock on Saturday, and noon on Sunday. So you kind of just adjust your clock accordingly.
Okay.
For those 3 games against North Carolina. You talked about the second base situation. So who's the better second baseman, and how does that work for a manager where they're trying to figure out, okay, which guy is best for me? Is it always the hitter, or does sometimes defense come into play, or is it going to depend on maybe who's your pitcher versus what your offense is? In other words, if you're playing a team that is more ground ball oriented, do you have second baseman A versus second baseman B, or is it kind of all those things?
I mean, I guess a little bit of everything is factored in there. More times than not, the better hitter is going to win out. Okay. Unless there's a big time defensive deficiency. Okay. So I would tell you, I wouldn't rate either one of them way higher than the other defensively. I mean, both made really nice plays, fall ball, all that good stuff. Mm-hmm. But I wouldn't lean one way or the other as far as which one's better. Bravo's probably definitely got the stronger arm going up the middle. Savateri probably covers a little bit more ground, but I would say that's a bit of a wash defensively. And
this is probably a really stupid question, but
the way it works out here, Chuck, is that you're not just battling when you're talking about all these positions, right? Let's say you're an outfielder, mm-hmm. and you're saying to yourself, well, we don't have to worry about Bravo and Savateri because they're second baseman. Mm-hmm. But that's not the case when you have versatile players that can move around. Mm-hmm. Because if Savateri and Bravo are both killing it at the plate, and you're the starting left fielder and you're scuffling, then Tadlock's going to go, well, put Savateri and Bravo in the lineup, and you're out. Bravo's out to left field, and you're out of the lineup.
I got you.
See what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
So you don't just worry about the guys that are at your position. Again, that's the whole. If you're hitting, they're going to find a spot for you in the lineup. So where can you play and play well? And when you have guys like Bravo that can do, I mean, heck, he started his career as a pitcher for the Red Raiders and outfield, now playing infield, that's good. I mean, when Pompey can play second, short, or third, right? Or Schulze can play first or third, and Logan Hughes can play outfield or first base. Same with Villanueva. I mean, that versatility is huge.
And as far as Scantinelli,
Scantinelli?
Not Scantinelli. What's
Savateri?
Savateri, I'm sorry.
Scantinelli. Sounds scandalous.
Italian. There's no shot of making him into a right fielder or something like that, right?
No, I think Antonelli Savateri is a second baseman.
Okay, he's that's where he's locked in.
Antonelli Savateri. It's a great name. Hax is going to have a lot of fun with it.
Yeah, no question. I mean, he'll have some kind of. Does he go by Savi or anything like that, or?
I think he goes by Ant.
Ant. Okay.
Yeah.
Ant.
I think that's what I remember them calling him.
Will that be for like?
He's kind of short too, so maybe that fits.
Will you kind of give us
I think it's just the first lead letter for his first name, Jeff.
Will you do a ground ball to Ant over to first and time?
Probably
beginning?
not.
Okay.
Probably not.
Okay.
I don't know. Maybe we'll see.
Let's see how it goes. What kind of flows out
Why
of
would
your
you
mouth.
not want to say Antonelli? I mean, it's pretty cool.
Right, but I mean, we feel like as we're listening to you and you tell us about these guys and give us their backstory a little bit, and when you say ground ball to Ant, I feel like that you know him really well when you say it like that.
Yeah, and that's why I hesitate being big on nicknames.
Okay.
Because if I don't really know a guy, it feels odd for me to call him by his nickname.
Yeah. Do they call you JL or anything like that, or
they don't really call me.
They just kind of give you the head nod. They're
Sure.
Like, oh, hey, that guy's with us again. Okay.
I think when I talk to the guys, they usually call me Jamie.
Yeah.
There's some guy in the back of the bus going, "Who's that guy?
Who's that guy?"
With us at the stadium?
You have to believe that happens, right? Like some of the freshmen their first year, like who's the old guys?
Who are the old guys? Right.
Yeah.
Who are the old
those
guys? Who are the old guys?
They're always here. It's a little creepy.
Right. Hey, did anybody get left off the preseason All Big 12 team from Texas Tech that you thought was worthy over somebody that got put on there?
I think TJ Pompey has a great chance to make that list when it's all said and done. I really think Dylan Maxey is primed to have a big season. He's performed well, and the chances he's gotten over the last 2 years, and he's just waited his turn. Craziest thing. Some kid came to a college and wasn't the starter, and he didn't transfer. He waited his turn.
He was patient and worked his way up.
And played well when he got his chance, and now it's his chance. Craziest thing.
That's amazing.
And so it's, I think he absolutely could be first team Big 12 catcher. I wouldn't be surprised to see him hit 330 with 8 or 9 homers or something like that.
Okay, and then how about a breakout pitcher?
Breakout pitcher. Well, there's a lot of new pitchers that everybody is going to get used to, but Jack Siebert, who's a guy that came as a transfer portal guy from USF. I imagine he'll be in the weekend rotation. So that's a guy. Zach Crotchfeld is another transfer portal guy for Auburn, was a top 50 player in the country coming out of high school. So I think he's got a chance to really help your team. There's a Midland College transfer named Tyler Boudreau. His nickname is Booty. In case you were wondering, they call him Booty.
Booty.
Okay.
Hopefully he doesn't boot it.
I really like his stuff, and I think I think he's going to be a bullpen guy, but not really sure. But I just kind of like his swagger out there on the mound and confidence. I think he could be really good as well.
This is the Morning Drive Podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
Time for this day in sports history. Today is January the 24th. 2025. Does it seem longer than a month ago for Christmas Eve, or does it seem like it wasn't that long ago? Because I'll be honest, for me, it seems like Christmas Eve was about 6 months ago.
Well, that's because you were stranded in Iowa State for so long.
Well,
that really messed you up.
No, that was Manhattan, Kansas.
Manhattan, I'm
his
sorry.
favorite place. I would definitely say it feels like more than a month. I would say short of 6 months, though.
I don't know if you've ever noticed this about me. I have a tendency to exaggerate from time to time.
It's crossed my mind.
Here's Jeff McGuire with this day in sports history.
Going to start in 1962. Jackie Robinson is the first African-American elected to the Baseball Hall of Fame. Joined in that class by Bob Feller.
1962?
62.
Okay.
1982. Super Bowl 16 at the Pontiac Silverdome in Detroit. San Francisco 49ers beat the Cincinnati Bengals 26-21. Your MVP, Joe Montana.
So much was made about that Super Bowl, about it being in a cold weather city, even though it was indoors. Just because of that, you weren't used to that. You were used to Miami, New Orleans, places like that.
Still don't do it a ton.
Right.
The ironic part is that they hosted it in Arlington a while back, and it was probably as cold as any city had ever been for the Super Bowl.
2007, Martin Zeno makes 3 free throws with under 30 seconds left and grabs a key steal as Texas Tech upsets number 6 Texas A&M 70-68.
Way to go, Martin.
In 2015, Todrick Gocher has 5 of Texas Tech's 11 threes in an upset win over number 9 Iowa State 78-73. In 2016, AFC Championship game took place at Mile High Stadium in Denver. Broncos beat the New England Patriots 20-18. The NFC saw the Carolina Panthers beat the Arizona Cardinals 49-15. And because occasionally we mention things to remind us that there are bad people out there. 2018, former U.S. Olympic team Dr. Larry Nassar is found guilty of molesting over 150 girls and is sentenced to up to 175 years in prison. Not long enough.
Yeah, agreed.
It is National Peanut Butter Day.
Okay.
I'm just saying, when it's time to go to the grocery store, it's when I've run out of peanut butter. That's one of the key times.
Wow. I just didn't feel like you would have the reverence for National Peanut Butter Day like that.
Oh, it's the peanut butter. There is always peanut butter in my house.
Okay.
I don't always have a peanut butter sandwich or toast with peanut butter, but there is always peanut butter in it.
What are the things you put peanut butter on?
My sister puts it on waffles. I don't.
Right. I've heard of other people doing that.
Yeah, and I don't know that it would
bananas?
be bad. It's just not what I've done.
What about bananas?
I don't. Usually if I'm going bananas, I'm going strawberries and bananas or chocolate and bananas. So it's really
think
just
peanut butter on bananas is awesome. It is incredibly difficult to get on there, though. It is
celery sticks. Big fan of peanut butter and celery sticks.
Right.
Do you put peanut butter on your toast?
Yes.
Okay. Do you do that too?
PB&J and
if it's available, I would much rather have jam than peanut butter on
me
toast.
too. No, I'm not putting peanut butter on toast.
I like it. I just like jam better.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So yesterday I got excited.
Did you get a new game?
No. I said it was Tim Siegel's birthday yesterday. It's today. But he's a good enough guy we can celebrate for 2 days, right?
Okay, sure.
Mm-hmm.
So, happy birthday again, Coach. Bad Jeffy. Matthew Lillard is 55. Neil Diamond, 84. Ed Helms, 51. Mary Lou Retton, is 57. And Brian Cushing is 38. And on this day, in 1848, a millwright discovers gold along the banks of the Sutter's Creek in California, forever changing the course of history in the American West. John August Sutter hired a millwright, James Marshall, to build a small sawmill along the South Fork of the American River in January of 1848. In order to redirect the flow of the water to the mill for the water wheel, the Marshall supervised the excavation of a shallow mill race. On the morning of January 24th, 1848, Marshall was looking over the freshly cut mill race when a sparkle of light in the dark earth caught his eye. Looking more closely, he found that much of the mill race was speckled with what appeared to be small flakes of gold. And he rushed to tell Sutter. After the assayer confirmed that the flakes were in fact gold, Sutter quietly set about garnering up as much of the gold as he could, because he's not stupid, hoping to keep the discovery a secret. However, something like this doesn't keep a secret very long, and thus starts the gold rush of 1849, where we get the 49ers nickname from.
Oh.
And that is This Day in Sports History.
All right, This Day in Sports History. Thank you, Jeff. 6:51 this morning here on the Morning Drive. Just a note about Jackie Robinson. His last game as a player was in 1956. So his 5 years would have been up after the 61 season. So 62 would have been the earliest that he could have been elected to the Baseball Hall of Fame. Because I was thinking the same thing. I was like, wow, why did it take so long? But it really didn't. It just took them.
Because he kept playing. That's why it took so long.
Took the minimum, yeah. Since we're kind of on the baseball realm, a couple things. One for you, Jamie. I feel like in listening to you, and this is not the first time I've felt this way, just listening to you, whether it's on the bottom line or here on the morning drive or just listening to you, it just sounds like there's more things to talk about with this Red Raider baseball team. It just seems like there's more. You got this, 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 you got this. Just seems like this is a deeper, maybe more talented, or just that there's more optimism. It just feels different than last year. Am I thinking right on that?
I don't think there was an optimism last year. I wouldn't go
that far,
but I do feel like within the program. I mean, if you listen to Coach Tadlock talk yesterday at the first pitch luncheon, he talks about, putting together a really difficult schedule, and he mentioned, we didn't want to give anybody in that room a chance to say that Texas Tech's not hosting. And he talked about we want to give these young men the opportunity to get to Omaha, to live out their dreams and play in Omaha. And I don't think he would be saying things like that if he didn't think this team had a chance to be much improved from last season.
Yeah, because he's not a hype guy by any stretch of the imagination.
Yeah, it's just not what he does. But he spoke specifically about it. It was interesting. He said, one of the things that we, at the end of last year, you look down at the bullpen and we just had a couple of bullets, and we were trying to figure out which days to use those bullets. And he said we, came up with a plan to say we got to have a lot more bullets. And he said, I think we have a lot more this year than we had last season. I think the offense should be really, really good, and it just feels like there are a lot more quality arms. But sooner or later, you gotta catch some breaks, man. The number of key injuries to pitchers that you've had in the last few years is just, man, it is
staggering,
ridiculous. And I mean, you lost 3 or 4 key guys last year that would have made a huge difference. Maybe it doesn't carry you to the national championship, but you'd have been easily in the postseason if you're not losing those guys. And it just kept coming. And, you're hoping that this year that's different, because sooner or later you start to, catch a break with that, and you have those guys stay healthy. So, I like what I saw of the number of quality arms, and that includes transfers from D1, that includes transfers from junior college, which I think they've done a great job with the junior college guys this year. And there's a couple of really talented freshmen that look the part, look like they're Lake ready, and can come in and make an immediate impact.
The Morning Drive podcast from Double T 97.3 is presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
Thank you for being with us with Jamie Lent and Jeff McGuire. I'm Chuck Heinz. We'll make predictions an hour and 15 minutes from now. Upon further review, we'll do the basketball game this weekend and get to these little football games that are going to be played on Sunday, AFC Championship and NFC Championship. The NFC is up first, and we'll have that at 1 o'clock on 100.7 The Score, and then the AFC to follow as the Commanders and the Philadelphia Eagles will play for the right to go to the Super Bowl, and then the Chiefs and the Bills will play for the right to go to the Super Bowl as well. Sunday at 2 o'clock, it's a tip for Texas Tech and Oklahoma State. They take on an Oklahoma State team that has lost 3 of its last 4 and has won only 2 games in conference play. But just in listening to Coach McCaslin a little bit last night, it kind of made me worried. Not that you're going to lose the game, but just, that this sounds like Oklahoma State's getting better is really what it sounds like. It sounds like they're playing with some pace, and they're going to get some teams. They're going to get somebody. They beat Colorado the other night, 83-73, and they barely they lost to Arizona by 14, 92-78, and then their other win is over Kansas State on January the 7th, 79-66. Jamie.
Yeah, of course, Coach McCaslin is going to be complimentary towards them, and he's going to show them all the respect that he should. And I don't disagree and feel like Oklahoma State's a little bit better than maybe they were a season ago, but I still don't think they're a team that you should, especially at home, that you feel like should have any chance to beat you.
Shiver in your boots or anything like that. They're in Big 12 play, averaging 67 points a game. They're giving up 75. They're making about 7 threes a game. They're giving up about 8 threes a game. They're turning the ball over more than what you see, it seems like, in Big 12 games at 13. But that's not a drastic number. It's not like it's 20 or anything.
They're turning the ball over more than what you see. You mean more than the Red Raiders?
Yeah, and just in general in college basketball, it just seems like.
Okay.
Again, I don't have the numbers to prove it. It's just what my.
I was confused. Like there were some invisible turnovers.
Oh no,
that they were having that we didn't know about.
Oh no ghost turnovers.
Okay.
No. I just kind of feel like that. For whatever reason, it seems like teams are taking care of the ball better. That's what it feels like.
You're paying attention to a really good conference, and where there's talented players and talented teams, 1 through 16. It feels like.
Yeah, I'm not watching Bowling Green taking on Western Kentucky or anything like that. Which I'm sure that there's some Western Kentucky person there. Oh, Chuck, they're a really good basketball team, But I'm not paying attention to the Hilltoppers. I'm just paying attention to the Big 12. It's a big job right now. And they're, like I said, they only have in Big 12 play, they have 3 guys that are in double figures, and their top scorers at 13.6 points a ball game. So not huge threats, but you can't snub your nose and go, oh, hey, we got this, and party like rock stars on Saturday night and come in there and just show up and think that you're going to win.
No, absolutely. As I just said, the conference is full of talented teams and talented players. And, it would be a big shock to see Texas Tech lose on Sunday, and they would probably have to shoot really poorly and maybe defend really poorly and probably have a bad day turnover-wise to lose this one at home. But you got to bring it. They've got good players too. So let's just hope we don't have to worry about any of those things. And you keep playing at the level that you're playing right now, where you're really, really defending much better, it feels like, in the last few games since the Iowa State game. And at the same time, you're getting a lot of contribution offensively from different guys. And you're still, last 2 games haven't been the best for Darian Williams, and you're still playing well.
Mm-hmm. I did not realize this, but Oklahoma State started off their season by playing Green Bay, coached by their former star, Doug Gottlieb.
Star?
I was being sarcastic.
Okay. Right.
That guy is just an absolute idiot. Just an idiot. He's just a tool beyond belief. Mm-hmm. And they got beat, Gottlieb and his Green Bay team, 89-76. But he just keeps stepping in it. His comments and things that he talks about is just crazy. It's like, dude, I know you got a sports talk show, but get off the Twitter machine commenting about other basketball teams, because yours is terrible. They're awful. They're just absolutely awful.
He's an interesting guy. He's definitely an opinionated guy, and he rubs a lot of people the wrong way, which for a lot of people that makes a good radio host.
I don't know. I think he rubs everybody the wrong way. I don't think he rubs a lot of people.
That doesn't mean that people don't listen, though.
I know, but
it's kind of his shtick.
I know, but he's
feels like the greatest radio host in the history of ever was Rush Limbaugh, and feels like 50% of the people were listening just to be angry.
Yeah, but at least it was entertaining. Gottlieb is, I don't know. His teams aren't entertaining, but. At any rate, Oklahoma State will be here on Sunday. So, I guess what do you want to see from this? Do you want to see like, okay, what can you get Kerwin Walton going? Can Darian Williams how's he look with the ankle? Was that the problem, or is it just a couple of off nights for him?
Yeah, I guess I would probably even put the Darian Williams thing ahead of Kerwin Walton. What I really want to see is just a ho-hum, make them look like a team that doesn't belong, on the court with us, and Tech wins it comfortably by 14 or 16, and it's never a challenge. That's what I really want to see. I want to see that this team is able to be motivated to play against a team that they should handle, and that they are, not coasting or anything like that. But I would love to see Williams play better, and so we can stop worrying about how much is his ankle bothering him, that kind of thing.
You want to see Tech hang 100 on them Sunday?
No, I just want to see a comfortable win. I don't ever want to feel like we're threatened in this game.
Okay. Yeah, no, I think that's really fair. It would be great to kind of have a little bit of a laugher, right, in the last 5 minutes of the game.
Hey, and you weren't kidding. Green Bay, the Phoenix.
Yeah.
They're 2-19.
Yeah.
Holy cow.
Right. I'm telling you, man, they're terrible. So,
Wins over Western Illinois and SIUE. What is that?
I don't know.
Southern Illinois University of Evansville, maybe?
Yeah, I don't know.
Something like that, maybe? No, that's
it's not gone.
Southern Indiana University.
It's not gone swimmingly for him, though.
Holy cow.
And he's still hosting his radio show, so
that's got to go over well.
Yeah. It's just crazy.
They're losing to powerhouses like Wright State and Northern Kentucky and Robert Morris.
It's a
IU Indy.
Yeah, it's a train wreck.
They got a big one coming up with Cleveland State tomorrow.
Do they?
Yeah.
Remember Cleveland State when they made it to the tournament like 30 years ago?
2-19.
2-19. Yeah. I remember he wanted to be the coach at Oklahoma State.
They should have hired him.
That would have been really good.
It would have been great.
But he's
if you're a fan of anybody else in the Big 12 Conference, that would have been great.
And it would have been great for all of us, because then we wouldn't hear him on the radio anymore. Because Oklahoma State would definitely not let him be on the radio every day, too.
Who knows?
They would have been able to pay him enough to be able to, so he didn't have to, do his 3-hour gig.
I wonder if that's about money or if that's about him just loving to be the
antagonist,
blowhard that he is.
I don't know, but
it seems like he likes to, run his mouth.
I understand. There's plenty of people that like to run their mouth. You can put me in that line as well, but hopefully it's not just, crazy every single day. Every single day.
Your daily dose of sports and fun. This is the Morning Drive Podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction. Jamie's question of the day on Double T 97.3 is brought to you by Connecticut of West Texas.
All right, guys, we're talking Red Raider basketball. Right now, if you take a look at the Big 12 standings, there are 4 teams listed in front of you in the standings. Technically, you're tied for 4th with Kansas, but because K comes before T, they're listed in front of you. Okay? So there are 4 teams in front of you. I want you to tell me which of those teams that are in front of you, those 4, do you think you will finish in front of, if any? And I want you to tell me who the team is that's behind the Red Raiders in the standings that you fear the most that they could come back and finish in front of the Red Raiders.
Yeah. So you got Houston is 1 at 7-0, then Iowa State and Arizona at 6-1, and then the Red Raiders and Kansas at 5-2, and then West Virginia and Baylor at 4-3. Okay, I think you're going to finish above Arizona. And I think that the team that concerns me the most that's behind you is West Virginia.
None in front of you. I think you are where you're going to end up with regards to the top of where the Big 12 is. That's just a stacked lineup in front of you. Welcome to the Big 12. The one I'm worried about most behind us is Baylor. There's a reason that there's a national championship banner in their gym. And Scott Drew has done an amazing job over the last few seasons of becoming an excellent, excellent coach to go along with being an excellent recruiter.
Yeah.
And I hate to say that out loud.
Okay, so I'm going to half agree with each of you. I think Houston and Iowa State are going to run away with this thing. I think there's going to be separation from those two and the rest. I think Tech is going to finish in front of Arizona, but not in front of Kansas. The team that scares me the most behind the Red Raiders It used to be West Virginia, but I don't think they're as good as they have that one really good win, obviously against Iowa State, but they've shown me no consistency. It's Baylor. I know Baylor has not been great. They don't look great at all. I just fear that they're going to figure it out. So that's the team that scares me. I don't think right now, I think they're going to finish ahead of the Red Raiders. I'm just saying that's the one that scares me the most moving forward. So I think, I'm in the boat right now thinking you're going to finish top 4. That's really impressive in this conference.
Mm-hmm. As far as Arizona is concerned, here's the road games they have left. At Arizona State on the 1st, at BYU on the 4th, at Kansas State on the 11th of February, at Baylor on the 17th. Then they have to finish at Iowa State on the 1st of March and at Kansas on March the 8th.
I was about to say there's nothing there that scares you, and then you mentioned those last 2.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And then they have they do have a home game tomorrow with Colorado, and then a home game on Monday with Iowa State. That'll be a doozy. They have Texas Tech at home on February the 8th. They have Houston at home on February the 15th. They do play BYU and Utah, and they do play Arizona State at home. So that's and who did you say? You said none.
That sounds like about 4 more losses for Arizona.
You said finish in front of no one.
Right. I think you're going to finish 5th. And Baylor's the one that scares me the most.
Okay. So, and Jamie said Baylor as well. So, and remember, West Virginia does have a win at Kansas, too, in addition to the win at home against Iowa State.
Okay.
So
they can play at a high level.
Yeah.
I forgot about the Kansas win. Yeah.
So, for Baylor, tomorrow they'll play at Utah. Then they play Tuesday at BYU, so they're doing the same thing that Texas Tech did, the Utah-BYU thing. They come here on February the 4th. That is a Tuesday game, okay? They have to go to Houston on February the 10th. They go to Colorado on the 22nd of February, at Cincinnati, at TCU. So they do play Houston twice. They finish up with Houston at home on March the 8th. The other home games that they have, they're home against Kansas on the 1st of February. So that's next Saturday. They play UCF at home, play West Virginia at home, Arizona at home. So, I mean, there's really no easy night in the Big 12. We all know that. So if you're thinking about that, do you think there's 3 or 4 more losses there for Baylor?
Yeah, sure.
I sure do.
Sure. Feels like, I don't know, maybe Jeff is more right. Feels like you're going to be 4th or 5th. You were picked 7th, right? The coaches spoke before the season started. So I think 5th would probably get you in the at least 13 wins range. And I still think that's a pretty impressive Big 12 season, maybe even 14 wins.
Yeah. And so right now, as you said, you're technically, let's see, you're tied for 5th because Houston's 1st, then Arizona's 2nd. Arizona and Iowa State are tied for 2nd. So that's 2, 3. You're tied for 4th with KU at 5-2. And then West Virginia and Baylor are behind you from there. Somebody says, took Baylor 20 years to get that banner. Oh, okay, whatever, man. They're still pretty good. I mean, and I think they have obviously staying power. They're 4-3, 12-6. I mean, you're 5-2 and 14-4. So a win here, a win there, right?
Yeah. I mean, I feel like, you're just one game in front of them. Again, Baylor's always talented, and Scott Drew can coach, so I don't just expect them to fall apart.
Somebody says finish in front of Kansas, worried about West Virginia. Okay, so West Virginia real quick. Tell you what they have left on their schedule. Let's see, they play at K-State tomorrow. They have to play Houston next Wednesday, at Cincinnati, at TCU, back-to-back February 2nd and 5th. They're home against Utah, home against BYU on the 8th and 11th. They go to Baylor. They come here on the 22nd. That should be a great game. And then at BYU and Utah on the 1st and the 4th, and they finish up with UCF. So it doesn't feel like that schedule's as tough as some of the others.
I would agree.
Doesn't necessarily feel like that there's meat on the bone, certainly, in terms of who they have to play, but not as much as some of the others.
The Morning Drive podcast from Double T 97.3 is presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
Continue to take your thoughts, comments, Yates Flooring Center chat line. If you have a prediction you want to make on the weekend, you can. We've got hoops tonight with girls and boys basketball, Friendship and Cooper.
I bet it'll last 2 days.
What are the last 2 days?
The weekend. You said you're going to make a prediction on the weekend.
Oh, okay. Yeah, the last 2 days, Saturday and Sunday. Some people started at noon on Friday.
Oh, do they?
Some do.
Jealous.
Some started at 6 o'clock on Thursday.
I mean, on a normal Friday, I'm usually out of here around noon. So
okay.
Yeah, that's one. But I'm also back here at 4 on Monday, so that balances back out.
Sure. I mean, nobody's going to question the number of hours you're working.
No. Except why so many? Go home sometime.
Oh, maybe accounting does, but that's it. Nobody here should ever go, hey, what? Jeff McGuire doesn't put in his fair share. But if you want to predict the ball games this weekend, Tech, Oklahoma State, or the AFC, NFC championship games, which we'll have on Sunday, the NFC first and the AFC, you can hit us up on the Yates Flooring Center chat line. Go to the Double T 97.3 mobile app presented by Happy State Bank. Apparently earlier this morning, I guess I blew a word. Longevity, and I said longevity. I think I've done that before.
That is one of yours. I thought that you were just kind of owning it.
Because honestly,
people have corrected you on that one before.
And honestly, I did not try to say it like that on purpose. That was organic. It was natural.
I've never known you to say it the right way, so I just assumed you kind of just owned it.
No. I mean, I wasn't trying to be. I wasn't. It's because it's
a hard word.
It's longevity, right?
Longevity.
And I've been saying longevity. Yeah, yes. Longevity. I got to. Yeah. So I wasn't.
It's a funky one.
I wasn't trying to call it like we've said from time to time. Me and Fink hodl instead of hotel. I wasn't trying. That's not the same comparison.
Okay, I thought that's what.
No.
You have disgraced Mark Finkner with hodl.
No.
You have made him say
he's the one that came up with it.
That's a his word.
Not
your word.
No, that's a his word.
We have to have some words with Finkner now.
So you're stealing Mark's words.
Right. I steal a lot from him.
This is fine. We got to fix Mark.
Longevity,
now.
Right? Longevity. Yeah, it just came out longevity. I don't know why, but it just did. But it's not something I would normally say. So longevity.
I mean, Fink, I have a fond appreciation for everything you do, but we got to fix that, man.
Somebody says this. I'll make a legit bold statement this week. Kerwin Walton will hit multiple threes. Well, I mean, 2 would be good, right? But don't put up 15, Kerwin, and get your 2.
That's not Kerwin. He's not a volume shooter.
Yeah, it's not going to happen like that.
That's not who he is.
All right, let me get to this because I want to get your reaction to this. According to reports, 2 things. One, Jerry Jones has informally spoken to Pete Carroll about the head coaching job of the Dallas Cowboys. That's one thing.
It's interesting.
Pete Carroll has supposedly wanted to be getting back into coaching. The interest is legitimate enough to be reported, according to Nick Harris of the Fort Worth Star-Telegram. He reports Jones has spoken with former Seahawk coach Pete Carroll. There are no plans for a formal interview, though. Okay?
Well, that doesn't seem like he's real serious then.
Right. Second thing, though, is, again, this report coming from Clarence Hill of All City DLLS, okay, whatever that is. It's on NBC's site. The Cowboys are closing in on a deal to make offensive coordinator Brian Schottenheimer their new head coach. Apparently, Schottenheimer fits everything that Jerry Jones covets in his head coach. He will come inexpensive relative to other head coaches, as Schottenheimer had no other interviews. Jones, who doubles as the general manager, maintains control and continues as the face of the team, and it's someone with whom Jones is familiar. His 8 previous hires were somebody that Jerry Jones were former head coaches and or had familiarity with the Cowboys. Okay. The Cowboys have also interviewed Seattle assistant Leslie Frazier and Jets coach Robert Saleh, who now is headed back to San Francisco to be their defensive coordinator. They had a virtual interview with Kellen Moore, now the Eagles' offensive coordinator. Schottenheimer became the betting favorite for the job earlier this week. Jeff, your take on Brian Schottenheimer to be the next head coach of the Dallas Cowboys?
Never in my life have I wanted to have Kellen Moore as the head football coach of the Dallas Cowboys.
If that was the case, why wouldn't he already be named?
Brian Schottenheimer or Kellen Moore?
Brian Schottenheimer.
Well, it says they're working on a deal, because now you have to wonder is
how long does it take with him?
Yeah, like, hey, do you want the job?
Hey, you want the job?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Offer sheet, boom.
Thanks, boss.
Hey, Shotty, you want the job?
I'll go get you a cup of coffee now.
Oh, man. I'm already wore out of Shoddy. It's Shoddy. I don't want him to get the job just because of that.
I knew that. As soon as I saw that yesterday, I knew that was going to be something that would highly irritate you.
Not highly. It's just...
One of the things that Dak Prescott doesn't want to do is he doesn't want to have to start over with language with the offense.
Well, by all means, let's give Dak Prescott everything we want.
Yeah.
He wants. I mean, we've never stopped that in the past, so let's not to get the best guy for the job. Let's not make Dak have to learn a different playbook.
Yeah.
I hate for that.
He'll be ready for the next step. He has the right personality and brain. Now, here's the thing that will just make you go, oh my God, you're going to throw up in your mouth when I tell you this. Guess who the next defensive coordinator could be for the Dallas Cowboys?
Leslie Frazier.
Rex Ryan.
That entertains me. Yeah.
Rex Ryan could be the next defensive coordinator for the Dallas Cowboys. Rex Ryan, as he tells it, if they would have been offering more money, he would have been the new defensive coordinator last year, and he would have fixed it. I could have fixed the Cowboys defense in a New York minute. But that being said, they couldn't pony up the money, or I would have been there.
The Cowboys wouldn't pony up the money.
For Rex Ryan.
What a crazy story.
This has been the Morning Drive Podcast, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction. Check out our library of Double T 97.3 podcasts at doublet973.com.